All right, I am back. I am back. We are back. You here, I'm there. I'm your host, 100 Simple Life Truths, episode 55. 55, episode 55. It is September 9th. It is 5:09 p.m. I just got off of work. I'm about to light this candle because I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. Every time I get off of work, I get in a great mood. I don't know why. I do know why, but we still got the tobacco bergamot. Beautiful smell. Beautiful smell. A little drinky drink. And I was just watching a little bit of one of my favorite podcasters. He's not even a podcaster. He's just I don't know what to call him. He's just a media personality, I guess. Just watching it, and he got me motivated. He was talking about something called monk mode, which is basically just lock in, fully and completely lock in, and get it. Like, you got to understand that you got to be selfish and you got to be selfless at the same time, and you just got to put everything you got into making sure that you good so that the people around you can be good as well. You can't fill from an empty cup. And he was just motivating me, man. A lot of times when I lose motivation, or I lose I lose faith and stuff like that, and I got to rework my my brain, I guess we could say, into buying back into the process. I watched this guy. I watch a lot of his stuff, right? I'm not gonna say the name, not because I'm a don't want to promote him, but it's there's reasons why I won't say the name. There's reasons why. There's reasons why. But other than that, this is episode 55. I am hyped. I'm hyped because of where I am right now. Way ahead of the game. 55 episodes in, way more than not way more, but more than halfway through, and I'm here. And I am here. Isn't it weird that my arms be just doing this? I'm here. Episode 55 is called Don't Know Yourself. Don't know yourself, can't be yourself, which is true. If you don't know who you are, you can't be who you are. And you can't put yourself in a position to be the best version of yourself in the best position for who you are. Because everybody needs to be able to play their position, and everybody just needs to play their position. So this one's going to be pretty long in terms of the reading aspect of it. I don't know if I'm going to have much to say. The last episode kind of messed me up because it was very not personal to me, but it was just like it was an emotional type of thing, and I agreed with a lot of it in terms of just protecting the innocent out there and not being, I guess, a scumbag, or just do as you would people as you want people to do to you. You know what I mean? It's something in my eye that's bugging me. Do what you want people to do to you, and you know what I mean. Just be a upstanding citizen. The human species is just trash. You know what I mean? There's not too many good ones out there. Not too many good ones. I think I made it worse. But this one says, "Don't know yourself, can't be yourself." And he goes on to say, "Our biggest enemy in the pursuit of getting to know ourselves is ourselves." 100%. 100%. You got to be able to accept yourself and accept that you're on the process. And as you learn the good things about yourself and the bad things about yourself, you need to not be your worst enemy. Not be your worst enemy. You need to just learn yourself, know yourself, and then you can change your surroundings and put yourself in better position to, be better. Sorry. We have a need for attention or validation, rather. We send signals out and really hope to get them back. If I tell you a joke and nobody if you tell a joke and nobody laughs, what are the chances of you telling it again? If everyone laughs milk out their nose, what are the chances you'll wiggle it into a conversation in front of a new crowd? People do it all the time. Comedians do it for a living, which is true. And that's kind of like trying to fit in, right? And needing attention. There's a lot of people that I know personally that just needs attention. Like, they feel like if they're not getting attention, they're gonna find it they're gonna find attention from somewhere. Somebody, something is gonna give them attention. And that's a bad way to live. That's a bad way to live. Needing attention and observing what works and what doesn't fulfill that need and paints us in a new picture of ourselves that over time distance us from who we really are. We tend to not express ourselves, but rather express what works and what makes us stand out or fit in. Facebook has done a good job, a wonderful job qualifying this with the ever so present like button, which is true. Facebook, Instagram, all of those things, once you get a certain amount of likes and views and comments on a certain thing that you do, or certain like content that you put out there, or something that you said on Facebook, whatever the case may be, whatever you post, certain pictures, videos, whatever the case may be, you get a certain amount of likes, comments and stuff like that. You're gonna keep doing it because over time you're gonna get addicted to that feeling of basically validation and attention. I have people who love me dearly and they read some of the flattering comments on my wall. They tell me that they don't know how I can put up with it. The truth is, I couldn't in the beginning. Then I started this when I started this in 2008. I received nothing but love. I was the underdog. Everybody was rooting for my success. Fast forward a few years, there's a section in my stadium dedicated to finding a reason to criticize, which is true. I feel like, especially right now, like in the space that I'm in right now, if you know, you know. I feel like I come from every time. Well, I come from a space where I was just accepted for who I was in a lot of spaces, and I'm in a space now where I feel like who I am is being tested and is being, I don't want to necessarily say judged. I do feel like I'm being judged in a like a negative way, and people are trying to point out the worst things about me, even though I know that I'm not a perfect person, but I don't seek validation. So whether people like me or dislike me, I'm gonna feel the same at the end of the day. Um, at first, I would tell myself things like, "Oh, they're just haters. They're jealous. They don't know what they're saying." But the comments didn't really start to bounce off until I divorced the need to hear the good stuff as well. That's great. That's a fact. That is such a fact. See, I really got to start. I keep saying it every single episode. I got to read these joints before I start talking because he literally just said what I said. If you're gonna take people's word on a good things they say about you, you gotta take their word on the bad things. So you gotta give equal credence to anything that someone says. So you can't say, "Oh, I trust this person's opinion," but then when they say something bad about you, oh, they're wrong. No, you have to accept the good things they say and the bad things they say. And there's this thing that they do that I personally do. It's I forgot what it's called. It's a thing that they call it where you you give someone two compliments and then you point out something negative. You know what I mean? So you can say, "Oh, nice shirt, nice pants," but those shoes really, I don't know, they don't go with the other two things. You know what I mean? Like you can get rid of those shoes and keep the other two items, and you know what I mean. So if you accept them saying that your shirt is nice and your pants is nice, you gotta also accept that they don't like your shoes. So don't accept anything. Like people can compliment me or hate on me all they want. I don't take a liking to either one, to anything anybody says. It doesn't affect me as much as it should. The positive comments are just as valid and invalid as the negative ones. They are opinions expressed by people I don't know. It's impossible to sit back and enjoy all the great things people say to me, then close the door to the not so great ones. Instead, I had to learn to stop defining myself and allowing myself to be affected by any opinions, positive or negative. It's an ongoing process. Yeah, it takes time because someone might say something really flattering to you, and you might just be like, "Oh man," you might love it, and that same person the next day might say something negative, and then you might be affected by that as well. The goal is to not be affected by anything. I can't learn about myself by focusing on how others see me. But I can learn by focusing on why I care. I'd be lying if I say I didn't care. We all care. But I do notice we tend to care a lot less as we get older. I'm not sure if that's because we're spending enough time with ourselves to develop a better relationship with who we are, or we're just too old and tired to keep up. I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. I'm not even that old, and I feel like I'm already at a place where I don't care about opinions about me. I'll listen to you. I'll listen to you, or you know what I mean. And if your opinion that you have about me correlates with something that I already have about myself, then of course this gives me more reason to not necessarily change it, but to understand it. But if it doesn't, and you don't have any, you don't affect my life in terms of, if I don't change the things that you don't like, then my life becomes not good, whatever the case may be. Then I'm gonna have no reason to change it. I can take your information and dissect it for myself and see if I agree with you, because some things that people may say about you is something you may not heard or you may not notice about yourself. So I feel like I've been yawning a lot in these last couple episodes, man. I've been working, man. Forgot where I was at, but he goes on to say, just like any other substance, validation and attention can become things we depend on. Think about relationships and the amount of worth placed on having others to love, others to talk to, and others to simply be around. I've been dumped by girls and my self worth has gone down the drain. The fear of rejection keeps many of us from doing what we want because we allow these events to count on our scoreboard of self worth. Very well said. I agree with everything he just said. I would just be repeating it. I agree. I've been I've been dumped and it's affected me, but everyone has. Trust me, everyone has. The fear of loneliness comes into play as well. I think some folks don't enjoy being alone because they don't enjoy their own company. I love being alone. I love my own company. I love just being by myself. I get irritated when other people are in my space, and that's something that I have to work on because I do want to be married. I do want to have kids, and I got to be able to accept their personalities in on days where I just don't want to accept anybody's personality and I just want to just be alone. And those days come way more often than any other day. So yeah, it's something that I know I'm working on personally. Hopefully, it comes through. The crazy part about it is that you can't work on it alone. You can't work on accepting people's company, accepting people's presence in your space while you're alone. It's something that you have to actively be working on with someone in your space. You know what I mean? So it's a conundrum. It's not a conundrum. It's a what is it called? What is it called, man? It's a I'm gonna think about it. It's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me. He goes on to say maybe it's because they don't feel they live up to their own expectations or because it is awkward as being stuck in a room with a stranger. A lot of relationships we have are based on how the other person makes us feel about ourselves, and that only heightens the sense of loss at their departure. Leaders need following to be leaders. Leaders need followers to be leaders. Correct. Humble the poet needs an audience to be a public figure. The dependency is there, but the compromise comes from maintaining the relationships that are maintaining the relationships are what's important. The compromise made to maintain the okay, I see what he says. But the compromise made to maintain the relationships are what's important. Sorry, I can't read. I'm not I'm not sharing this to put people down for having that need. We're all in this together. Media does a great job of making us feel inferior to sell us something that'll improve the situation. Although the fear is real, the consequences are not. The fear is simply being exploited. In reality, the people we admire must have or project a confidence we want. The most celebrated of them are those who are so unique they couldn't copy them if you tried. You couldn't copy them if you tried. You can't buy confidence. It has to be developed like a language. It's going to take time. Correct. I feel bad for like looking down. This is why I didn't want to like do this on camera, but we're here now. So when I'm looking down, I'm reading. Obviously, if you haven't realized that, I'm reading from a book. So I'm looking down. I'm not looking directly at the camera. I apologize. But that's the nature of this series. I feel like it's rude though. I feel so rude. That uniqueness comes from a lot of soul searching, and most of that is through conversation with yourself when you're alone. Some call this meditation, some call it me time, and others call it peace and solitude. I call it life, man. I'm just always alone. I like being alone. I like my space. I just like my space, man. Just to chill. That's a big difference. I was really just chilling. As someone who relies on attention to make a living, I can promise that even if the lights and cameras are brighter and fancier, happiness won't follow. The more we paint ourselves based on how others see us, the stronger our reputation is formed. That reputation is a prison, and we'll only start feeling freeing ourselves when we start being ourselves. In addition, encourage others to be themselves and validate their unique qualities. You can start You can only start being yourself if you start getting to know yourself. So turn off the distractions, sit down and have a conversation with the most important person in your life. You. You are 1000% the most important person in your life. Like I've said in at least 20 different episodes so far, which is probably more because this is episode 55 and we're on episode 55. So we've been through 55 episodes and I've said it, I swear I've said it at least 20 times. You're all that matters. Like, and it's not selfish. It's not rude to focus on yourself. You need to know who you are and what you are before you can be able to give people what they need from you, because you may not even be capable in your core to give people what they need from you. You know what I mean? So being being honest with yourself, learning yourself, and understanding yourself is prevalent. It's the most important thing that you need to do. Yeah, do that soul searching, sit down, have some solitude, talk to yourself, learn yourself, figure yourself out, and figure out how to put yourself in the best situation. Put yourself in the best possible situation for the type of person you are to thrive. And I feel like it's self-explanatory. After you done listening to this, just cut off the world for like an hour. Just cut off the world for like an hour. If you got space to just be alone for yourself, like even if you live with other people or you listen to this wherever you're listening to it, once you get to a comfortable space, like even before you go to bed while you're in your room, you know what I mean? Albeit you don't have somebody that sleeps in the same bed with you, or even in the shower, when you're taking a shower by yourself, just take a moment to just let the water run over your head and just think about who you are to the core and be honest with yourself, because as long as you're honest with yourself, you'll be able to be honest and accept who you are. So let the water run over your head and just figure out who you are, man. Just think like, yo, okay. I mean, and sometimes you even say it out loud, like, this is who I am, this is who I want to be, this is what I need to be to get to where I need to be. This is how I react, this is what I need, this is what I don't need. Just really figure yourself out, and then everything else will come. Everything else will come. Yeah. Yeah. Monk mode. Get straight into monk mode. Figure out who you are. Love yourself. Accept yourself, and change the things that you feel like you need to change. And be actively thinking about, actively changing them every day. Get closer and closer and closer to the person that you want to be. The things that you feel like you want to change, or the things that you want to not necessarily change, but the things you want to start doing. You gotta actively do it. You gotta want it as much as you want to breathe. Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, y'all know what time it is. It is quote time, and the quote is, again, always, always and forever. This is the quote: "Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding." It is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. Therefore, trust the physician and drink his remedy in silence and tranquility. Silence and tranquility. That's the key. Silence and tranquility. I hope y'all learned something about yourselves today. This was episode 55. We rocking, we rolling. We got 45 episodes left. And we're gonna run through those. Run through them quick too. Other than that, I hope y'all are safe. I hope everybody in your family is safe. I hope you're learning about yourself. I hope you're sending this to the people you think need to learn about themselves. Hope you had a good day. It's Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Other than that, I'm out.